MS Word 2007. Formatting 1. Font color and style. When we speak about character formatting, it means we want to change the appearance of characters or text. It refers to the way in which the text is displayed in terms of, for example, form, color, and size. There are two main types of fonts to choose from. Firstly, serif fonts. These fonts have short, decorative lines at the beginning and end of each character. Secondly, sans serif fonts. These fonts are simpler characters without any decorative lines. There are a few ways to change the font of a document. We use either the font group on the font ribbon, or we use the font dialog box. If you want to change the font using the font group on the font ribbon, you have to select the text for the new font. Then click on Font Type that you will find on the font ribbon. From the font group, click on the drop-down arrow for Font Type. A list of fonts appears. Select your new font by clicking on it. The text that you have selected will change to the new font. If you want to change the font using the font dialog box, select the text for the new font. On the font ribbon, click on the arrow to activate the font dialog box. The font dialog box will open. From the font list, choose the font by clicking on it. Once you have selected the font you want to use, click OK. The dialog box will close and the font will change. Font styles or character styles can be used in MS Word to emphasize a word or phrase. There is a choice of character styles such as bold, italics, underlined, or a combination of all. To change the character style of a word or phrase using the font group, you have to do the following. 1. Select the word or phrase. 2. From the font group, click on the style you want. 3. The selected word or phrase will change to the style that you have chosen. To change the font character style by using the font dialog box, you have to select the text for the new style. On the font ribbon, click on the arrow to activate the font dialog box. The font dialog box will open. From the font style list in the font dialog box, click on the font style, which is bold in this case. Once you have selected the correct style, click OK. The font dialog box will close and the selected text will change. We measure the size of text in points, pt. The most popular size fonts used when typing documents is 10 to 12. Font size can range from 8 points to 72 points. To change the font size using the font group, you have to select the text that must change, and from the font ribbon, Font Group, click on the drop-down arrow next to Font Size. A list of font sizes appears in the drop-down list. From the list, click on the font size, in this case 16 points. The list will close and the font size will change in the text that you have selected. To change the font size using the font dialog box, you have to select the text that must change, and then click on the arrow on the font ribbon to activate the font dialog box. The font dialog box appears. From the size list in the font dialog box, select the size you want. Once you have chosen the size, click OK. The dialog box closes and the selected text size changes. Font color can be used to emphasize aspects in a document. To change the font color using the font group, select the text that you want to change. From the font group, click on the drop-down list next to Font Color. A palette of colors will appear from the drop-down list. Click on your color choice from the available colors. The text that you have selected will change color and the color list will close. To change text color using the font dialog box, you have to select the text you want to change and click on the font arrow to activate the font dialog box. The font dialog box appears. From the font color list, click on the drop-down arrow. A list of colors appears. Select the color you want from the list of available colors. The color that you have chosen appears in the color list box. Click OK. The dialog box closes and the text that you have selected will change to the font color you choose. You can emphasize a word, phrase, or paragraph using highlighting. From the font group, click on the highlighting drop-down arrow. A color palette will appear from the drop-down menu. Select the color of your choice. Now the color window closes and the text will be highlighted. You can also emphasize text using text effects. To emphasize or change text using text effects, you select the appropriate text and then activate the font dialog box by clicking the font arrow. The font dialog box appears. The font dialog box has a number of text effects to choose from. From the list of text effects, click on the effect. A tick will appear in the checkbox next to the selected effect. Click OK to close the dialog box and apply the selected effect. The dialog box closes and you will see the chosen text effect.